Hi there, my name's Michael and welcome to Tabletop-Infiltrator. In today's video we're going to be having a look at January's edition of White Dwarf, issue 472, and it's looking like a good one. We've got some free updated Grand Tournament secondary objective cards to have a look at. So let's jump in. So kicking off this month's edition of White Dwarf, you've got this awesome Chaos Space Marine here on the front. Finally, after the last 3 or 4 White Dwarfs, you've got some 40k artwork here on the front. So in this issue we have obviously got the free Grand Tournament secondary objective cards. We've got a new flashpoint, which is Nachmund. We've got a Tale of 4 Warlords, the grand final, so that's the end of that painting series. We've got a Imperium versus Deathguard battle report, Genestealer Cults and Kill Team, rules updates for Asar Bonereapers, so AOS, and Black Library was Tome Keepers serial novella, so something on the Tome Keepers chapter. So let's have a look here. So as usual, we've just got a little brief here from the managing editor. We've got the contents page, so you can just see what's going on this month. Tale of 4 Warlords, 40k Nachmund, so the Nachmund campaign, what duty asks, righteous warfare. We've got the battle report, we've got Kill Team, we've got Age of Sigmar, Flashpoint Clash, Age of Sigmar, and some Black Library. Brilliant. So on the contact page, we've got some awesome models which have been painted by the community. Really great looking Deathguard there. I mean, Alex, if that's what you've painted, that is phenomenal. Well done. Yeah, great looking models here. Some High Elves, Lumineth, I think they are. Howling Griffins, I think this is what these are. Yeah, Howling Griffin, really great colour scheme when you pull it off. Really hard to as well, but epic looking. Flipping heck, right. So we've got a, who's this been done by? War Game Team Bangyao Northbury in Thailand. Wow, mate, you've got some serious painting skills. And this Warlord Titan, oh my goodness. He's done an epic job on that. Alright, and then you're moving straight into the 40k section on this month's edition. And you've got some awesome artwork here. It looks like the Black Legion taking in the Ultramarines. Funny that. Right, so in the grim darkness of the future, there's only war. This issue, there's also 4 Warlords, 4 armies, new Flashpoint series, a match play, battle report, kill team rules, and paint splatter. Awesome. So, out of all this models range, I have the Phobos Lieutenant. He's all painted up. I've got the Phobos Captain. I have got the Phobos Librarian, but he's not painted up. And I have got Infiltrators here, here, here. Really cool looking. And Inceptors, I think they're called Inceptors. I'm getting those with the Imperium magazine one day, so that's cool. So the Tale of 4 Warlords, so this is the end of this painting series that's been going on. 4 team members from from the Games Workshop team come together, and over a series of months they paint up some units for a different army and get some games in and just show off how they're extending their collection. So we've got the Sons of Medusa by Joel Martin. So he's added in some aggressors, some of those defense platforms. I forget what they're called. And the Phobos Lieutenant. What have they got? He added. So he's got a Phobos Librarian. Where is it? What's he got here? Aggressors. Where is it? Fire Strike Servo Turrets, that's what they're called. So So yeah, they're really nice. And I like how because his full arm, he's got some Phobos units, which he's done like a desert camo theme on. And it's nice that he's pulled that across onto the Phobos librarian at the same time. Then the Thoct Dynasty by Jonathan Stapleton. He's been painting up the Necrons, and that's an awesome looking Silent King there. Order of the Argent Shroud, so Sisters of Battle by Drew Pallis. Again, awesome looking models. Really love that silver and red scheme there. Awesome. And then the Goths by Lydia Grant, and you've got a Squigoth here. That's looking fantastic. And then you've got the entirety of the collection for the Sons of Medusa. So Repulsor, the Gladiator Lancer, Repulsor. I can't remember which variant of that is on the Gladiator. I think that's the Lancer, and that's the Valiant, I think. Some Hellblasters, Aggressors, Gravis Captain, some Assault Intercessors, some Normal Intercessors, some Outriders, Redemptor, Eliminators, Infiltrators. So that's the scheme there. The camo scheme, really nice. Ancient, Chaplain, Tech Marine, and the Servo Turrets. Really cool looking army. Excellent. And then the Necrons. Awesome, that blue and silver neon look to it. Epic, really, really cool. I love the new Monolith model. It's such an improvement on the old one. And then the Sisters. Really, really great looking models that he's painted up here. And the Goths, Lydia's done an awesome looking job on these. Fantastic. Squigoth really is a centerpiece of your army there. Gaz chilling out. Loads and loads of grots, isn't it? Brilliant. And then moving on to the Nachmund campaign. So the galaxy is torn asunder, with new war zones exploding into life with ever increasing frequency. In this first article of a new series, we begin a perilous journey through the Great Rift to explore the conflict raging within the Nachmund Gauntlet. So basically, I won't ruin it for anyone in here, but the Nachmund Gauntlet is basically one of the only few routes across from Imperium. Where is it? Imperium Nihilus. Yeah, so it's one of the most stable routes from Imperium Sanctus to Imperium Nihilus. So it's strategically very important. And Abaddon was already there the first time, and I think he wounded Calgar and then decided that he had to teleport away somewhere. I think that's what happened in the last one. Right, so you've got some fluff here, some lore. Alright, and then we're moving straight on to the new secondary objectives that have been updated for the new chapter approved that's coming out next weekend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause it here, because trying to go through these, they're in like a cardboard and they're basically pop-outs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause it here, I'm going to get all of them out, and then we'll have a good look. Through them. Right, so in the magazine, you get 3 sheets that you can pull out, and they've all got the cards on there, and they just pop out fairly easily enough. I really like the fact that you've got cards, because you can just keep them in front of you and they can be a quick reference. I know what I do for my you can eventually end up having loads and loads of cards at the table if you take everything with you. But what I do is I'll take only the ones that I'm going for in that particular battle, and I'll have them out. And then I'll also have the stratagems that I'm going to use. Everything else I'll just discard, and I'll just have them there so I can quickly reference them and pull them out. So the Nachmund secondary objectives, So the secondary objectives presented here are for use within the Warzone Nachmund Grand Tournament Mission Pack. When players select secondary objectives for a Warzone Nachmund Grand Tournament game, they must select three, and at least 2 of these must be selected from this card deck. So instantly we've got a complete change. So factions such as the Dark Angels, I think, they could select 1 from their supplement, 1 from the Space Marine Codex, and then 1 normal secondary objective. But now it's basically saying you have to choose 2 of these, and then 1 you can have from another source. So if a secondary objective is a keyword in brackets next to its title, players can select that secondary objective if every model from their army, excluding unaligned models, has that faction keyword. So what they've done is they've created some secondary objectives specific to factions which have not had their 9th edition codex out yet, just to give them a little bit of help. Some of those factions I don't think need that much help, like the Tyranids or anything like that, because they're horrible. Some of those armies you can produce. So the players can select a maximum of 1 secondary objective from another source, such as a codex or codex supplement, like I said earlier. Each secondary objective is a category, e.g. Warcraft. Players cannot choose more than 1 from each category, so that's same as usual. And then you can't exceed a maximum of 15 victory points per secondary objective. You can get less than that, but you can't get more than that. I'm not going to go through all of them. We'll just have a quick look. So we've got Bring It Down, so that's the Purge the Enemy one. There's only a few of the secondary objectives that I usually go for, so it's like Oath of Moment, Engage on All Fronts, Stranglehold, or maybe Priority Targets, depending on what the mission is. So I don't know a lot of them, but you can have a look through and just pause, I suppose. What I will do is I'll put timestamps in for this specific section so you can have a look. Next you've got Purge the Enemy. So this one is faction specifics for the Astra Militarum. So score 1 victory point at the end of the battle round for each enemy unit that was destroyed during that battle round by an Astra Militarum unit from your army, to a maximum of 3 victory points per battle round. Okay, so wow, that's all right. It's for each enemy that was destroyed. Oh, pretty good. So good against like horde units, I suppose, or something like that. Next up, we've got Assassination, so that's Purge the Enemy as well. Pretty good if you've got a lot of characters in your opponent's army. Next up, we've got Titan Hunters. So again, if you're going up against knights or big tanks like the Astraeus or something like that, anything with a Titanic keyword. Next up we've got No Prisoners, and this is in the No Mercy No Respite section. So this is to do with the number of wounds you've inflicted, and then dividing it, and that gives you the number of points that you can get. We've got Grind Them Down. Has this changed? With more units destroy. No, it doesn't look like that one's changed. So score 3 victory points at the end of the battle round if more enemy units than friendly units were destroyed that battle round. It's quite hard, that one. To the last, No Mercy No Respite. You'll have to let me know down in the comment section if these have changed, because I'm not that glued up on the secondary objectives. And then we've got Synaptic Insight. So this is a Tyranid specific one in No Mercy No Respite. So if you select this objective, keep a Synaptic Kill tally. Reset this tally to 0 at the start of each battle round. Each time an enemy model, excluding dedicated transport models, is destroyed by a Synapse model from your army, if that enemy has wounds characteristics between 3 and 5, add 1 to your Synaptic Kill tally. If it has wounds characteristics between 6 and 9, add 2 to this tally. If the wounds characteristics are 10 or more, add 3 to this tally. Score 3 victory points at the end of the battle round if your Synaptic Kill tally is 4 or more. You cannot score more than 12 points from this objective. So, okay, so a little bit of help to, it sounds like it's quite easy to pull off, but it can only be done by synapse units. So again, it's limiting what you can either have in your army or what you can do to pull it off in your army. So Tyranid players, let me know what you think about that one. Would it be one that you'd take? Next up, we've got the Long War. So this is Chaos Space Marine specific for No Mercy, No Respite. At the end of your turn, you score 1 victory point for each enemy unit that was within range of an objective marker at the start. What? So at the end of your turn, you score 1 victory point for each enemy unit that was within range of an objective marker at the start of that turn. That was destroyed by Heretic Astartes until unit from your army during that turn. Okay, so that's quite good. So the whole point is to have units on objectives, and you basically want to kill them off. So that's quite handy, I suppose. At the end of your turn, you score 2 victory points if you control 1 or more objective markers that were controlled by an opponent at the start of that turn. So you basically got to kick them off of objectives and stick your troops on there. And a Heretic Astartes unit army is within range of 1 or more of those objective markers. So kick them off, kill them. They've got to be on there. You've got to kick them off, and then you've got to take the objective. I think that's the gist of it. Malefic Terror, Chaos Demons. So No Mercy, No Respite. Each time an enemy model flees the battlefield, score 1 victory point. Okay, that's... I mean, morale is... I don't see it as a huge factor when it comes to games of 40k. Each time an enemy unit is destroyed by an attack made by a Chaos Demon unit from your army, before removing the last model from the battlefield, roll 2d6. If that result equals or exceeds the current leadership characteristic of that enemy model, score 1 victory point. You cannot score more than 4 victory points from the secondary objective per turn. Okay. And we've got Path of Destruction, Chaos Knights. So 1 or more units, so score 1 victory point at the end of the battle round for each of the following conditions that were satisfied during that round, for a maximum of 3 victory points. This is a lot to keep your head around. So 1 or more enemy units were destroyed by a Chaos Knight model. Okay, so destroying units wholly within, well, that Chaos Knight models are wholly within your deployment zone. So you've got to have some really long range stuff then. 1 or more units were destroyed by Chaos Knight model while 3 inches away from either player's deployment zone. Okay. And then 1 or more units were destroyed by a Chaos Knight model from your army while that Chaos Knight model was wholly within your opponent's deployment zone. I mean, the first 2 are doable, I suppose, but you wouldn't be able to max it. How would you get across the board in turn 1 to get that 3rd one? That's a bit harsh. Chaos Knight players, let me know what you think about that one. Be curious to hear your thoughts. Would you take it? Warp Ritual. So this is just a normal secondary objective, no faction. Completion of a complex ritual will allow your psychers to fully harness the power of the warp. Moving on, we've got another Warpcraft one. Abhor the Witch. The presence of enemy psychers in this theatre of war can no longer be tolerated. Hunt them down. So you're going after enemy psychers. Pierce the Veil, Warpcraft as well. Your psychers must attempt to use their warp gifted sight to scry that which cannot be seen by conventional means. So I think it's like carrying out actions. Yes, it's a psychic action. And then next we've got Psychic Interrogation. Your psychers must use their mental powers to delve into the minds of enemy leaders and discover their battle plans. So basically you're brain hacking characters in the opponent's army. Here we go. Shadow Operations. Deploy teleport homers. So if your Vanguard forces deploy a series of teleport homers deep within enemy territory in preparation for a fleet's arrival, we will be able to launch a deadly surprise assault. Oh, okay. So you're deploying a teleport homer. Next up, we've got Retrieve Nachmund data. Retrieve Octarius data, praise Rod, has now been changed to Retrieve Nachmund data. It hasn't quite got quite the same ring to it, unfortunately. And now I do know this has been changed, okay? So you're still doing it in table quarters. You've still got to be 6 inches away from another table quarter. And what does it say here? So the action is completed at the end of your turn, provided the unit attempting it is still within the same table quarter. If this action is successfully completed, roll d6, subtracting 1 from the result. Oh wait, this is completely changed. So retrieve data. 1 infantry or biker unit from your army can start to perform this action at the end of your movement phase if it is wholly within a table quarter that has not had a servo skull retrieved by your army, see below, and it is more than 6 inches away from any other table quarter. This action is completed at the end of your turn, provided the unit attempting it is still within the same table quarter. If this action is successfully completed, roll 1d6, subtracting 1 from the result of the unit that completed their action. Has the troops battlefield roll. Okay, so only troops can do it. If the result is less than or equal to the number of models currently in that unit, that table quarter is said to have had a servo skull retrieved by your army. You can add 1 to your retrieved data tally. At the end of the battle, score 4 victory points if your retrieved data tally is 2, score 8 if your tally is 3, or score 12 victory points if your tally is 4. Wow, okay, so that's quite changed. So really, you can't do it with like lictors anymore, or one-man squads. Wow, that's quite a change. So the best thing to do is to get a cheap troops choice. Have a minimum of like 5, because the more you have, the more likely you are to complete the action. So that's a complete turnaround on that one. Let me know your thoughts on Retrieve Nachmund data. Investigate signals, so shadow operations. So you've got to complete a set of actions on there. Can't do it with aircraft. Raise the banners high. So you're just raising banners on your objectives that you secure. Don't think that's changed. I haven't really played it, to be honest, that many times. And we've got Stranglehold. This is the one I played the most, and that has not changed. Score 3 victory points at the end of your turn if you control 3 objective markers, and you also control more objectives than your opponent controls, so not much of a change there. And then engage on all fronts. I think this one has changed as well, because you've got to have a qualifying unit. So score 2 victory points at the end of your turn if you have 1 or more qualifying unit from your army wholly within 3 different table quarters, and those units are all more than 6 inches from the center of the battlefield. Score 3 victory points instead if you have 1 or more qualifying units from wholly within each table quarter. Okay, so 2 victory points or 3 if you've got 4 quarters, and those units are all 6 inches from the center of the board. A qualifying unit is one that contains 3 or more models, or one that contains 1 or more vehicle or monster model. Okay, so no more sticking like a character just across the board to get engaged on all fronts, or like a lictor or something like that. It's got to be 3 or more models in that unit, or vehicle or monster. Right, interesting, so some changes there. So behind enemy lines, this is battlefield supremacy, so dispatch a spearhead to break through the enemy's defenses and cut off the route of escape. Interesting. And then finally, we've got Yield No Ground. So this is for Imperial Knights, faction specific battlefield supremacy. So if you select this objective at the end of your turn, you score victory points as follows for the maximum of... so it's similar to the Chaos Knight one, is it? Score 2 victory points. So there's 3 conditions for it, like the Chaos Knight one. Score 2 victory points if you control half or more of the total number of objective markers on the battlefield, and 1 or more Imperial Knight model from your army are within range of each of these objective markers. which this has really helped out with the data slate, giving objectives secured and meaning that knights count for like 10 models and stuff. So this is helping. This is to help out that, I think. Score 2 victory points if no enemy units excluding aircraft are wholly within your deployment zone. Okay. Score 1 victory point so long as no Imperial Knight model from your army ended that turn closer to your battlefield edge than they started the turn, and no Imperial Knight units from your army fell back during that turn. Oh, okay, that's quite... this secondary objective cannot be scored in the first battle round. So that's it. So those are the new secondary objectives. I really like the fact I've got a set of cards for them. There's some faction specifics in there, and they've rejigged the rules for how some of them worked that were really, really strong, constantly being taken, like Rod, that sort of thing. So let me know down in the comment section about any of those. Would you take them? Would you not take them anymore? Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Right, we're back with the magazine review. So like I said here, we had some fantastic artwork of the Ultramarines going up against Abaddon and the Black Legion and the Chaos Space Marines. And in the first round that they fought on the planet, I think it was Vigilus, wasn't it? Yeah, Vigilus. Abaddon severely wounded Calgar, but then just before he killed him, he decided he needed to teleport out there. And then on this page, you've got Calgar Lives, which is awesome. Which is definitely some Imperial propaganda that they had to put up there. So some great lore and some background behind probably the First War and the whole Imperium Sanctus, Imperium Nihilus. Again, some more lore and fluff around the actual Warzone. And then you've got like a short story here, or some more fluff. Some background lore. Here we go. And then you've got a short story here. What duty asks. So, amidst Shrine Gardens of Acurus, the Chimera 64th Infantry find themselves pushed back by a relentless foe. Outnumbered and without hope of support, Major Jesmond Hesper finds his faith in the god Emperor tested. So again, I love the fact that you get all this lore and fluff in White Dwarf. It's fantastic. I hope he doesn't turn into a cultist, but I have a feeling that's what will happen. And then Righteous Warfare. So faith takes many forms, from the pious priests of the ecclesiarchy to heretical demon worshippers of Chaos Cults. Such convictions can be powerful weapons, and the warriors of the Crusade of Faith can be nigh unbreakable in the heat of battle. So these are some Crusade rules for you, for your game, for your Crusade games that you play in 40k. Just following along the Nachmund flashpoint, the Warzone. So all these rules and stuff like that will give you some rewards and some special unique abilities during your Crusade games to build up your forces. So on here we have, what is this? This looks like the battle report. So internal deliverance. So Sisters of Battle and Imperial Knights take on the Deathguard in match play game using a new mission from Warzone Nachmund Grand Tournament Mission Pack. But who will prevail? The righteously faithful or the revoltingly filthy? Excellent. Okay. So what I'll do here is I don't want to spoil it for anyone. So we'll have a look at the armies that they've got. So it looks like they've got 2 knights and some battle sisters. And it's a 1500 point game against the Deathguard. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So what I will do is I won't, no spoilers for anyone. I will skip over the next couple of pages. And if you're interested in reading this battle report, pick up the magazine and have a read through. So we're back, and in my opinion, it's a 40k battle report in White Dwarf. Why would you not want to pick it up? So definitely go. I would recommend go picking it up just to read it, and you're getting a ton of content this month with White Dwarf. Moving on, we've got Warhammer Kill Team. So the Lurking Worm. So Genestealer Cults are insidious broods of human Xenos hybrids that have spread unnoticed on Imperial worlds for generations. They infiltrate the Imperium's social, industrial, and military fabric. And when the day of Ascension Day dawns, their uprising is nigh irresistible. Excellent. You've got a cool little bit of artwork here. Looks like some Tau Fire Warriors or Pathfinders. And you've got a Genestealer there just about to stick that very long knife into the back of that Tau. So this is the Kill Team section, and Genestealer Cults added to Kill Team. So you can now get these guys skirmishing across the battlefields of the 42nd millennium. Excellent. So again, you've got all your name generators and everything like that, so you can really personalize your little squad that you're creating. And then the enemy below, so this is giving you some new rules. There we go, for playing Genestealer Cults in games of Kill Team. And I just saw the word crossfire in one of these. So fantastic that the fact that you're getting a lot of rules in here if you're playing games of Kill Team. And you get data sheets for them. Oh, awesome looking artwork here. Fantastic looking. Ooh. Some of the pages are, oh my god. Some of the pages are still stuck on here, they haven't been cut properly. So data sheets. Again, some brilliant looking artwork. Huge amount of content for Kill Team for the Genestealers this month. Definitely worth picking up. Honestly, White Dwarf has got something for everyone. I really do like what Games Workshop have done with it. And you got your painting guide, so battle ready, parade ready, and the different levels you can work to with your Genestealer Cults. Looks like an Imperial Guardsman who's been turned to the Genestealer ways. And some miners, it looks like. Excellent. And then moving on to the Warhammer Age of Sigmar section. Again, like I've always said, I know very little about Age of Sigmar. I'm a 40k fan. So you've got a load of fluff and lore here about the undead, basically, led by Nagash. I think that's his name. Awesome. Brilliant looking artwork, and I've always said the model range for Age of Sigmar is fantastic. And these are just different areas around this mortal realm. I do like dipping in and out some of this lore, it's quite interesting. I can never quite understand it. Are each of these mortal realms a different planet that's linked by a realm gate, or is it on the same planet and you just go to a different part of it? The old world was a lot easier for me to get my head around. Empire, Ulthuan, Bretonnia, Chaos Wastes, the Dowie, the World's Edge Mountains was a lot easier for me to understand. So Flashpoint, the Tome Celestial. So this is the AOS version of their war zones. Unyielding, unfeeling, unstoppable. This is the creed of the Osark Bonereapers, a strange and fearsome breed of undead. These legions are the great necromancer's finest troops, wholly dedicated to raising up his twisted necrotopia. To do this, however, the Osiarchs must exact a grisly tithe from the living, a tithe of bone. Right, okay. They do look really, really cool. Some awesome looking artwork there. Loads of lore, isn't there? Loads of lore. And then this is essentially the Crusade version for AOS. So new rules for using the Bonereapers in battle. It's pretty good. Like I said, there's loads in here for everyone. This is awesome. I might actually give some of a read. To be in. So this is for you can really go into some detail with this campaign. Excellent. And then rules of engagement. Okay, so created by the Age of Sigmar games developers, focuses on the creation, design and evolution of the rules for Age of Sigmar. This issue, Lois looks at some of the recent changes to building an army and how to make the most of them. Excellent. And the Winter Warriors, that's pretty cool. Fantastical Realms is an ongoing series of articles showing you how you can build and paint your Warhammer Age of Sigmar armies based around the mortal realms they live and fight in. Oh, okay, grab your scarves and don your mittens because things are getting chilly. That's really cool. So theming them around where they live, that's pretty cool. So if they live in an ice place, you can add snow and ice and that sort of thing. And I think on Warhammer Plus, there was like a painting tutorial on how to add fake snow to your bases and terrain. That's pretty cool. Oh, look in here. You've got some here. I swear this is one of the the scenery that was used. That's pretty cool. So, and you can take these techniques and add them and transplant them across to 40k as well. If you want snowy bases, you can use the same technique. Excellent. That's cool. Little frozen spear there that he's got. Yeah, I really like this. Fantastic looking. It gives your models a real depth when the bases and they're painted in a view that matches where they've come from. And then the Black Library we move on to. So a new chapter is written in the book of Sergeant Naism of the Tome Keepers of the Third Company. Prosecute wars against the enemies of the Imperium, yet misfortune seems to plague their every step in the first of the 6-part series. Excellent. Definitely be up for reading this. I'm just blown away, really I am, about the amount of content you get in White Dwarf. It's really, really good. I enjoy reading this. This just goes on forever. You pick up the magazine just for this? Well, I would anyway. Excellent. Wow, this goes on. You'll have a full book by the end of this. And then inside the studio, so as we come to the end of the magazine, we take a look at the games the studio staff have been playing and the models they've been painting. This month, the Grey Knight tank, some unsavory heroes, Stormcast Eternals, veterans of Middle-earth, and some terrain building. That is a really nice looking Land Raider, and I fully intend to be painting up a Land Raider for my Redeemers chapter. And they've gone really into the detail on the inside of it, showing off the engine, painting that up. Lord of the Rings, some really horrible looking Uruks, are they? A Merc Knob from the Dominion box set. Some Stormcast Eternals, that purple, white and gold really sets off against one another. It's great. And then some Minotaur armed containers, which I've got some in the Imperium magazine. So, next issue, the Tome Celestial, Beasts of Chaos. Next issue is on sale 18th of February. And on the back here, we've got some Beastmen. Excellent. So that is January's edition of White Dwarf issue 472 with all the new Grand Tournament secondary objectives in there for 40k. What a great edition of White Dwarf. Well, I personally think so. The fact that you've got an absolute load of secondary objectives now that have been updated, and some new ones for specific factions that have not got their 9th edition codex yet, I think is fantastic. Let me know down in the comment sections what you think of the secondary objectives. Like I said, I only take a few of them, so those are the ones I'm most familiar with. Apologies if I didn't read out all of them. I would have been here for like 2 hours reading them out. But let me know what you think. Which ones are you going to be taking? Which ones are you going to be dropping? I'm really curious because I've seen some videos and rumours about changes to how primary objectives are scored, and a lot of the missions are changing in the new chapter approved that is out on pre-order today and available for next week. So I've already pre-ordered mine. So what I might do next weekend is I might get a live stream set up and ready for when I get back from the shops. I'll literally open it up and we'll have a look through, and if anyone wants to chat with me, we can do. So yeah, really happy with it. White Dwarf this month. There's tons and tons and tons of lore and fluff in there. There's a new Warzone. It's just packed full of stuff, and like I said, it's got something for everyone. There's 40k, Age of Sigmar, there's Black Library in there, there's Kill Team, there's new rules for Genestealers, there's new rules for playing campaign games in Warzone Nachmund, there's new rules for campaign games with the Bonereapers. There's just tons and tons and tons. I'm really liking it. So yeah, if you've liked the video, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't, give us a dislike. It's all for the algorithm. And if you want to see more content, hit that subscribe button. It's down there in the corner. Switch on notifications so you never miss a video, and I will hopefully see you next time.